Got another VCR to look at today. This one's a Sharp Hi-Fi VHS, obviously. 4-head Hi-Fi. This one here has an unknown problem. So we're going to plug this one in and give it a spin, see what it does and does not do, and see whether we can actually get this one to work. Check it out. Got a VCR. This is a Sharp vh942. It looks like Hi-Fi VHS Hi-Fi stereo. Nothing special about this. I'm told it doesn't play. It just appears to stop. It's not eating the tape. Let's take the top off of this one and see what's wrong with it. Okay, it's your basic design. Looking in the top of this one, look at the chassis on this. Metal chassis. That part's good. Okay, let's just see what it does. Okay, the drum's spinning. And then it stops. Play. Does fast forward and rewind work? This is screaming mode switch. Just the way that this is behaving. This is screaming mode switch. Just looking at the head drum. Don't see any broken heads on it. That's good. So the drum spins up, but does not load. I don't know. This is weird. If I think about this one for a minute. What's that? Sometimes if something is spilt on here, these edge connectors get damaged. They can cause weird problems, but the drum's spinning up, so it's obviously not severed. I guess we should check the mode switch on here first. That'll be the first thing to do, will be to clean the mode switch. So I shut the power off. On this one here, I think I can pull the, I think the chassis comes on this one quite easily. I don't know, I haven't worked on one of these things for a long time, so I'm not really quite sure what I need to take apart on here. This is one VCR that is probably not worth spending a lot of time on. Like, this is one you could get for $20 at Value Village or less. They weren't a very expensive unit when they were new. Turn on the fan here. It's kind of warm in the shop today. the reason I'm seeing these things is because somebody posted on a local Facebook page that they know a guy that can fix electronics. So everybody in my hometown here now is aware that I can fix VCRs and stuff. And I'm getting calls. Got a call from another guy, from another source, that has got a DVD recorder that he wants to bring to me. So I'll be seeing that likely soon too. But it's not that I'm going out looking for this stuff to fix. It's just it finds me. And I'll do it. Don't let me forget to put that back on later. I'll do that once the chassis is out. I've got one more screw back here. Probably more than one screw. One that I can see. And what else? It lifts out. Oh yes, another connector down the front here for the loading motor. Well, let's just take this out here from this and see where that switch is. Where is the switch? Oh, well, this one does not have. Interesting. Yeah, I broke that. Put that back together. Just snaps together like that. It's the tape end sensor. This is optical. So we do not have a mode switch problem on this machine. Very interesting. I wonder what the problem is. Oh, that's going to be fun to install that. Didn't think this one through, did I? One belt on this one. Belt is in good shape, so I don't have to worry about that. But okay, I guess I can put this chassis back together, as it's definitely not. It's not the mode switch because there isn't one. This is a photo sensor. You see the two photo interrupters here. The cam gear has slots in it. So we're back to square one. I have no idea off the top of my head what the problem is. One thing for sure, if you have one of these, don't try to clean the mode switch because there isn't one. Now I got to reconnect that head drum. To reconnect the video head to the preamp, I got to remove this shield because, as you'll see, this cover, I have to reinsert this ribbon cable. Hope it didn't get damaged when I pulled it apart, but I have to reinsert that into the main board in order to reconnect the head to the preamp. I think I met my match on this one. I've never worked on one of these sharps, or very few. What's the date of production of this thing? I think this was probably after. No, I was still working on 95. So I don't know why I didn't see these, because I just don't remember, unless I just don't remember them, because they didn't break down that much. Maybe, I don't know. It just doesn't see. This one just does not register as one that I recall working on a lot of. There we go. I probably have seen these before. I just have forgotten. I've forgotten about a lot of electronics over the years. Not working on them that much, at least not until recently. You know, when I got out of the business, I swore I would never work on another VCR. I promised myself I wouldn't work on VCRs or any electronics for that matter. I was looking for what screw goes in. I think it was this one. that went in here. Yeah, when I left in 2003, I had done this long enough, I was done. So I really didn't have any interest in working on this stuff. And it's amazing what you forget. But here we are, 18 years later, and I'm working on this crap again. Except for I used to make a lot of money doing it, and I don't anymore. Now it's more of as a project, as a fun project to teach you guys how these things work. And I mean, that's where I make my money, is off of the advertising on YouTube. That's where the bulk of it is. I certainly don't make a lot from charging people, because most of these VCRs can be, I don't make more than about $30 on a VCR, if I'm lucky. Some other things like DVD recorders and stuff, I might make a little bit more, but the VCRs are, because you can go into the second-hand store out here and pick them up for $20 to $30, right? So when someone sees that they can go and buy one for $30, then it really doesn't make their old one worth any more than what they can buy a replacement for. Okay, what else am I looking at on this thing? We know it's not the mode switch, because there isn't one. So what else do we have to look at on here? I wonder if we got a missing... I wonder if we have a missing FG pulse. The head drum, when it spins, FG pulse probably wouldn't do it, but the FG for the head itself, the frequency, the pulse wouldn't do it. But if it was missing the frequency, there's a frequency generator, and then there's the pulse generator. The pulse generator picks up, there's a little magnet here, if you see it, right on the edge of right on the edge there, see a little magnet? So as the head drum spins, it flies past a coil and it generates a pulse. And that's so that the machine knows what state the head drum is in. If the pulse is missing, then you'll usually get a switching line drifting through the picture, or it'll track on the odd track. But there's also a frequency generator coil that detects the rotation of the head drum. It provides feedback to the servo that the head drum's going the right speed. I wonder if that's where the problem is. I wonder if we get a servo problem on this unit. I see something on here that looks like it's been spilt on this. I don't know what it is. Couldn't have been something spilt because there's a top. Although I see spots on here too, you see? You look down the side here, it looks like something's been spilt on this machine, but that doesn't make a lot of sense because the top cover would be on it. If there's anything on the inside of the cabinet. Nope. Inside of the cabinet looks clean. I was thinking maybe if some water or something got spilled on here and it worked its way along and dripped, but I don't see any signs that anything's dripped in from the top. So I don't know what these spots are on these ribbon cables. Anyway, let's turn this thing on again. Put it through its paces and just see if there's anything different that's happening. Still doing the same thing. Let me get my scope out. To be kind of careful with my scope probe, I was working on a machine, one of my own machines, just trying to do a video on an old machine of mine, and the video has not seen the light of day because I blew it up, and because it was mine I didn't feel so bad. But what happened was my scope probe, it was clipped on ground, popped off, and it landed on the circuit board and shorted something out, and the machine doesn't work anymore. So I haven't got around to fixing that one yet. Okay, why is my scope not working? What the heck's going on here? Now what? Don't tell me my scope's broken now. Oh, is it going to come on this time? What's going on? I have no trace on my scope. Like my scope is frozen. Was going through the self-test. It's stuck. These lights are flashing. What the hell is going on with my scope? It's supposed to go through the sequence of the modes. Well, that kind of sucks. Oh, wait, okay. Now, see, it got to that one. It should go, all these lights should go in sequence. What the hell's wrong? Self-test mode, but what is, how's it doing? What the hell? Okay, now it's on. But what happened there? Do I dare turn it off and back on? See? I think I'm going to have to check into that. This sounds like it could be a connection problem in here, though, because you see it's kind of stuck, and if I give it a tap, okay, now it came on. That's weird. Okay. Alright, well, something's wrong with my scope. What else is new? What else is going to break down in here on me? May have to do a service video on the scope. Okay, I'm going to look for... What am I looking for here? Let's look for the PG pulse. When I spin the head drum, do I see it? I'm just looking to see. I don't even know if I'm on the right terminal here, but as that's noise from something. As I rotate the head drum, I should see the PG pulse. Actually, if I try pressing play. Okay, that might be motor drive. Looking for the PG pulse. Pulse generator. Okay, that looks like that might be the PG pulse. Yes, okay. And I'm trigger mode on here. Trigger on source 1. Okay, that's PG, so this one should be what's this one? I don't see any frequency generator. That is probably the motor coil or drive to the motor. So I'm scoping this pin here, which is the, I think it's a PG generator from that coil. Yes. Where is it? Where was it? Oh. May help if I put the ground back on. Okay, that's the PG pulse coming from the drum. So the pickup coil is working okay there. I wonder, but I'm not seeing the other pulse from the frequency generator. So let's take apart the drum. And see whether there's a problem. So this is the underside of the drum. I'll throw some extra light on it to make it a little easier to see. If we look, and I got my magnifiers on here so I can see this here, you see this traces on here? This forms the frequency generator. So as the head drum rotates, it's creating a three-phase. So you've got three-phase motor. So you've got, what is it, 9 coils? There's 8 coils on this one. So it should be a three-phase motor. Unless it's 4 phases. But it should be 3 phases. See, there's only 8 coils. Normally you would have 9. Interesting, weird design. Anyway, this is the drive IC over here. As you can see, the drive IC provides the AC drive over to the different coils. It creates a rotating magnetic field, which, of course, the magnet on the inside of the rotor assembly, or the inside of the rotor assembly, it's interfacing the rotor magnet goes right along the outside here, right? PG coil over here. This is what picks up the pulse. It's just basically a coil of wire with it's like a crude audio head with a very big gap. Just a coil of wire wound around a piece of iron. As the magnet passes over it, it creates a pulse. We saw that pulse. If we look at the traces here, we'll see that these traces, one side goes down to this pin here. The other side goes through this resistor into this pin. And if we trace back the other ones, which are these ones here, we will see that one goes to this pin and the other one goes also to this pin here. Our PG pulse was on here. So we should see a PG pulse on, this one would be the ground, I would think. We saw the PG pulse generator here, but I did not see the frequency generator on this one over here because I was looking at the back. Okay, I had my PG was here. I saw nothing there. Well, that's ground, and I would have expected to see the frequency generator on this one, and I didn't see it. Looking at this connection here, both of these connections, I wonder if that's where the problem is. I'm just looking at through my magnifiers here, and I don't know, they flex when you see any movement there when I flex the connector? Whoops, the light's in the way. Might help if I move the light out of the way. I don't know. Weird. I'm just going to try resoldering that. My soldering iron out here. Get some solder. You might wonder how I'm zeroing in on this. Well, it's just due to the way that the unit was shutting down. It was like trying to start up, but it was shut down before it could do anything, which is typical what would happen if you had a missing FG pulse. If you had a missing PG pulse, say you'd get playback, but it wouldn't look right. But a missing frequency generator, then what will happen is the the circuit won't detect that the drum is running. And if it doesn't detect that the drum is running, it'll go into an emergency shutdown. And that's kind of what I think is happening. It's going into an emergency shutdown. There's no codes or anything that are thrown, but just the way it's behaving. So we'll just I will say that I'm really not expecting, whoops, don't want that. Little magnet stuck up again, little spring. This is the grounding on this one, you see? This is the grounding little spring that grounds the head drum to the rest of the, grounds it through the metal on the here. The little spring sits on there. I'm not 100% confident that what I've done is going to fix this thing, by the way. I'll be pleasantly surprised if this fixes the problem on this unit. I guess it also could be this ribbon cable too. But let's just see. Let's plug this in and turn on the power and see whether this thing will load up. Nope. Don't think I fixed the problem. Wait a minute, is it on? Or now it's on. Let's try that again. Didn't fix it. I still have no PG, or not PG, but FG pulse. It almost looks like there's a short right in here, doesn't it? Some flux or something. Make sure there's no buildup of anything around there. We'll try this. We'll try this again. It could be the ribbon cable too. Okay, let's see if it does anything different. Power. Play. What the heck? Oh. Might help if I push the play button. I'm sitting there pushing the pause button. I believe we have a picture. Well, we don't have a picture yet, but we will. We will. It's the beginning of the tape. Okay, what now?
Is a TV more than a TV?
I got a black and white picture.
It's the vch942 series. Hi, I'm Richard DeCarlo.
Now what the heck? I got a black and white picture, no color.
vch942 series large screen display. Now I know what you're thinking.
That's me doing that.
Calling this a TV would be like calling it a drawing board or a pen. Screen display is packed with all the high quality, state-of-the-art features that you expect from this TV.
I don't know. I think at this point, this thing's probably a lost cause. No color. Why do I not have color?
Just before I explain some of the features that make this display so special, I want to say this. It's easy Listen.
Well, I guess I've gone about as far as I'm going to go on this one. At this point, this one's uneconomical to repair. When you start getting into the chroma circuit, you go down that path as it could be just about anything. Everything's buried on a chip. You know, unless the crystal's buggered up or a broken connection, but I can't see that. It could be a capacitor somewhere that's gone bad, but really, without a service manual, you're kind of doomed on these machines chasing down the chroma conversion circuit, because the chroma is converted down from 3.58, well, it's rounded to 3.58, down to 629 kilohertz, recorded on tape, and then on playback it's converted back. This all takes place within a single chip, but without knowing the actual architecture of the chip, what signals go in what pin, what signals come out of what pin. A no chroma problem would have been something that back when I was repairing these machines back in the 90s would never have been fixed. It would have been, okay, your VCR is shot, buy a new one, and that's where I am here. This VCR is toast. It's not going to get fixed. I got the picture working, but didn't know there was another problem until we got the picture working, and it's a bummer, because that's the way it happens a lot of times. You know, when you got something that's dead and you spend time to get the thing running, only to find out that there's another fault that is not going to be one that is easily repairable, and this is not going to be an easy repair. Spent way too much time on this one as it is, so unfortunately, see if I bring up the screen, I've got color, so I know it's not the TV. TV's got good color, but it's just not picking up the signal from this. So that's it. Can't save them all.
Spoke to the owner, told him I got it playing, and told him it had no color, and he's like, oh, that's right. I remember. The color was bad on it, that's why I put it away.
This one's done. Let the fellow that owns it know that it's not repairable, and I'm sure he'll probably tell me just to throw it out. That's usually what they do. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.